Okay, I think we are recording. Yep, because it's telling me I can pause it. So welcome
Sorry.
to training. Tonight we are in week 4 of our Director Bound class, and this is, I know Susie, you got this. Just a reminder: this class doesn't necessarily mean that you're hitting director right now. Although if you do, we won't be upset with you. But if you don't, if that's something that you're like, you know what? I know the mechanics. I might need someone to hold my feet to the fire a little bit more. That's what this is. This group setting gives you some accountability. It gives you some camaraderie. It gives you guys something to talk about when I'm not on Facebook. It kind of helps to hopefully build those relationships within the team, because that's really what we're all about. My host is super excited. We just submitted her show, and she got her double free.
Whee!
So, yay! Alrighty, so again, welcome to week 4. Tonight's call is all about streamlining your inviting your hosts to join Pampered Chef, and also how to get other people to think about possibly joining our amazing company, and how to do that naturally. So, so for those of you who are thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so new, I don't know what to do yet. Guess what? You're in good.
Oh, well, I'm not new, but okay.
Well, yeah, but sometimes you need the extra words, extra things to say, and things like that. So, so tonight we're going to talk about building a team, and how you can share this amazing business opportunity. And we're coming right with 1 day left this month to be able to add team members. Now, I never try to make it about me when I'm adding team members. I don't say, hey, join this month because I'm going to get 6,000 points. No, they don't care about you. You want to say, oh my gosh, tomorrow is the last day to join Pampered Chef and get 50% back on your new consultant kit. How cool is that? Because then you're making it all about them and not about you want your points for Hawaii. I want my points for Hawaii, but I'm working on it. Okay. So let me see if this thing's going to move forward. Okay, so who has been doing some awesome host coaching? Chris was looking for a tracker. Melanie has, yay! All right, remember, each week we are building on the skills that we've learned. So week 1, we were talking about how to book shows. Oh, okay, I did change it. I'm like, I keep forgetting, but I'm good. I read my stuff. We're good.
So
I keep going back because I reuse the same slides. Like, I have 2 different sets of slides, and then I alternate between them. So I don't have to keep recreating the wheel each time I do this training. But then I freshen it up. Different themes, different pictures, different whatever. So anyways, I keep having August and September on here because that's the last time I did this class. I keep forgetting to change it. But I did. We're good. So like I said, each week we're building on something that we previously learned. So the first week we were learning how to book shows and where to find those shows to book. Because in order to host coach, you need to have hosts, right? So then the next week we talked about host coaching and how to, now that you've booked your show, how do you help that host have a successful party? I'm really working more closely with my host this year because last year I did 89 shows. And out of those 89 shows, if I had actually done an 800 to 900 party average, I would have had almost $80,000 in sales versus what I submitted was like 49,000. So I worked a lot, but my hosts weren't hitting their max numbers that they could be. So I really liked what Angie said, and I'm going to observe her show on February 10th. So I'm going to take lots of notes, and I'll bring them back to you guys.
Just videotape the whole thing.
Do what?
Just videotape the whole thing.
Remember that Bring It On movie with the redhead in the background?
Yeah.
That's going to be me. Recording it. I might. She asked her host permission for me to come today, so her host said yes. I don't know if I should scare her with the camera. Anyways, so how many of you guys had success doing your host coaching? I know I saw some hands going up. And did you add any more shows to your calendars? This is time for you guys to talk.
I didn't add any shows to my calendar, but I made some calls. I did have one last week. It's a show in April, but I made some calls with some pretty good prospects. And I haven't done any host coaching on any shows, but I did listen to the audio and got some great ideas and created a sort of like document that I'm going to start following for my host coaching, because I think that's one area I could improve on.
I think that's one area all of us could improve on. If you look at your stats, and if you have not been with Pampered Chef for 3 months, it's not going to give you an average yet. So you'd have to manually figure it out. But once you hit your 3-month mark, you can pull your averages, and I can show you how to find that information so that you know where to go from there. Okay, so you haven't had a chance to practice your host coaching yet. Melanie did. She had a crazy awesome show. Do you want to tell us how your host coaching went for your $1,600 show?
Sure. So I posted for you guys like the 8 days that I send information to them each day to give them more ideas and things they can do to increase the people that are participating. And I talked to her every day. That was probably the most coaching I have done for any of my shows, including the pathetic one I'm doing right now.
It's not pathetic. It's going to be amazing.
And
I
this
have to extend it a few days, but it's going to be amazing.
But I talked to her multiple times a day, and she called me, I called her, and we just kept talking about stuff. And every time she hit a milestone, you know, that first morning she had 400 and some in sales, and it was really one person that did it. But then immediately that was like, okay, now 650 is your next. It's not 7, then 8. I kept jumping like $300 at a time.
Nice.
Like, all right, we're getting it. We're getting it. And she took catalogs and she brought them with her everywhere she went, and she was very direct. She made phone calls. I messaged every person I could on Facebook till it blocked me, thanking them for joining and telling them who I was and posting the link. So I think that all those things helped, and it was more than I had ever done before, and clearly it paid off.
Yes, and you did your party as an event, not a group, right?
No, group. I've never done events.
You did a group. I might need to go back to groups.
I know.
I've done events the last 2 months, and I've seen a decline in my online sales, so I might need to go back to group.
Yeah.
Okay, just to give you guys a heads up today, I booked a fundraiser for February 17th. And I booked another fundraiser for a Girl Scout troop on March 26th. So I am trying to work on outside of the box things.
Good.
Be thinking about all those places that you can ask for bookings and start working with them. Okay, so how many of you are tracking? I did see Susie's log. Who else is tracking their booking leads and their possible team member leads? Anyone else besides me?
I have written them down in like 5 different places, and I am random that way, so I'm screwed up because I don't have one central place. And so like I started reading that book. I told Chris, I think yesterday, that I was reading our little book we have, and she had a whole different idea on how to track, like your top 40 was like 12 different people. I know. I have like 5 of them, and they all have information.
5 subject notebook. And then I get these little tabs. This is the way I do mine because it lives at my desk. Now you can do smaller notebooks.
She's got 12.
Yeah. So whatever works for you. This works for me because when I do team coaching calls, I log what we talked about. When I do my booking, when I'm working on bookings, I log here and I keep track of when I talk to someone, when I left a message. If I need to cross them out because they're not doing anything, when I need to follow back up. When I have my recruiting lead, I write down when the last time I talked to them was, when I'm reaching back out to them. Customer care, that's when I have people who need items replaced. Or if I'm just following up to make sure that they're using something and they need something from me, that goes in that section. And when we're talking for our, this is just how I do mine, you can do yours totally different. This one is when we're talking about our team meetings, Bobby and I will brainstorm, and then that's my brainchild for that. So that way, if we don't necessarily train on something this month, but we're like, oh, hey, remember we talked about, I can pull it back out and it's all in the same spot. So basically, no matter whatever your system is, find something that works for you and do it. You might not be a pen to paper person. You might be a notes in your phone person. You might be sticky notes all over your office person. You know, whatever works for you, do that. But just continue to keep your log. I would show you, oh, I have another one. Look at me. So prepared. Okay, so in here, there is a section where you can track your parties. And I don't know if you guys have dived into that very much. as far as all of the paperwork. But like when you're in this first part here, it's got this month 1, where your parties were booked. Okay, what date were they held? How many people were there? How many people took information home? How many people did you follow up with about joining Pampered Chef? And, how many did you have an interview with? How many people signed up, or, that you did an opportunity chat with versus who signed up, and how many bookings did you get at that show? This is what I mean when I'm talking about tracking your shows, because this is how you know your numbers. If you go to a show and you're telling your host, when I have 10 people there, I know at least 2 of your friends are going to book their own show. At least one person's going to join Pampered Chef because this is so much fun. But you won't know those numbers until you track it. So even your virtual parties, track how many, on your virtual parties, you might track how many people were in the group versus how many people placed orders. So you know your odds.
Just send it.
Find a system that works for you and kind of do that. So keep track of that. Okay, are you guys doing your 3-2-1? 3 contacts a day? Are you doing
a little bit more than that?
Hi, husband in the background.
Hold on.
And you're 1 new consultant a month. I mean, we have 1 more day left this month. So if you haven't signed your new person, Chris, Melanie, Julia, Susie,
Her name's
got a day.
I tried 3 times.
That's okay. We could try again tomorrow. Remind her, hey, don't forget. I just did that.
Interview's at 1. I'm calling her at 3.
There you go. I have 19 fence sitters right now. That means 19 people who have told me that they want to join Pampered Chef that haven't done it yet.
So how often are you going back to them?
I usually reach out to them at the beginning of a month, and I tell them what the special is for the month. And, oh, my gosh, are you guys ready for Pampered Chef? We're ready to have you on the team. And then I usually gauge their response and see how they're doing. And then Steven's just walking through my office. Ignore him as all the doors open because he just decided it would be super fun to prance through the office.
Must be a husband thing.
Yeah. And now he's back doing his Superman doorway. Anyway, so I reach out usually at the beginning of a month and I tell them what the special is and I remind them about how much fun we're going to have. And then I wait and see what they say. Oh my gosh, life is crazy right now, blah, 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 blah. I'm still thinking about it. And I say, okay, well, I'm going to follow up with you in a couple of weeks and just see what you think and see if you're ready. I hate for you to miss the special. Or if life's crazy, can I follow up with you in a couple of months? So I have a rolling list of people that I'm constantly messaging. So I might not have 1 a month, but I might have a month I have 6, So it kind of will balance out. Are you working on your 2 shows a week? Those don't necessarily have to be live. Keep the saying in your mind that, 8 will make you great. When you do 8 shows with the company, you'll earn every single incentive. And that's something I've kept in the back of my mind for 6.5 years of my business. Like, I like free stuff. I'll take it. 8 shows will get me there. I'm doing that. Okay, so now this is where Chris can tell us about all the cool stuff he learned from our homework from Make It Impactful because he took notes. Woo!
Yeah, it was a really good call. A lot of it I really liked about was basically before the show, as soon as you get the show, you start having communication with the host. Like the day after, you send a card, or you send an email, and you kind of just keep him or her motivated about and teach them how to get $1,000 show. So I'm going to implement some of those things in my next, if I get a show, I'm going to implement some of those host coaching. And I've been, I have a person that's on a freezer meal right now, and I've been coaching her, working with her on getting, more people involved and stuff on the freezer meal. So.
And something you can do with the freezer meal, not everyone is going to want to take the plunge and buy their groceries and buy their spices. Still tell her to invite people that want to come and learn how to do a freezer meal workshop.
Right.
They can help the other people, and they'll shop from the catalog.
True. Good idea.
So that's a way to increase her attendance without her having to ask her friends to shell out $180 for groceries. Hey, why don't you come hang out with us? We're going to eat something. We're going to drink some wine. We're going to spend about 2.5 hours. You can jump in and help us prep the meal to kind of float and talk to everyone. And then she can learn how to do it. He or she, they can bring people to learn how to do it. And then decide if they want to do their own. Was it you, Chris? I was telling you about how you make the freezer meal workshop a show.
You said you don't make it a show.
I don't. When I'm doing my freezer meal workshops at my house, I don't. If I'm doing a freezer meal workshop for someone else, I only have the host buy the ingredients for her meals, and everyone that comes preps her meals to fill her freezer. So then it only takes like 30 minutes. They're learning how to do a freezer meal workshop. They're filling the host freezer, and everyone still has time to shop, eat, and do a normal show, because you end up with usually more in sales that way. But I know your people are kind of stuck. They like all doing their meals and taking them home. That's fine. Yeah. But if you run into a situation where maybe they don't all want to spend the money, do it as a fill your freezer for the host. And then when her friend goes, oh my gosh, this was so much fun. All right, let's fill your freezer next. You pick your menu. We'll all come to your house. We'll do this. And then it only takes 30 minutes for your freezer meal instead of 3 hours.
Okay.
Just as a suggestion.
Yeah, that's a different.
Okay, so make it impactful. Did anyone else listen to the homework?
I started. I haven't listened to all of it.
You have a kid, girlfriend. You could listen to it on your way to work.
Wait, I can probably tell you.
The last time you listened to it. Don't be looking back at last year's notes. That don't mean nothing, girlfriend, if you ain't doing the work. Thank you, Christina.
How do I do it, Christina, in the car?
Do you have Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Then you just pull it up on your
my phone and just play it?
Yeah, and just play it. It'll play through your speakers.
Which was the Make It Impactful one?
It's on.
Is that the host coaching?
Yeah, host coaching. She's going back to last year's notes. This is how many times she's done this class.
I know, it's really bad.
I'm going to teach the class next, because I'm a firm believer that when you teach, you do.
Maybe that's what it's going to take. And I have abundant bookings.
Abundant bookings is a good one too. It's fine. We'll move on. We can come back.
Yeah, go.
Okay, so sharing the opportunity is super simple, and it follows a very, very simple process, which is 3 steps here that you're seeing, which would be inform, invite, and then an opportunity chat. Does anyone know the difference between informing and inviting before I tell you what the difference is between informing and inviting?
I would say, hey, did you know you could become a consultant? Versus, do you want to become a consultant?
Oh, there you go. That's a good way. Good inflection in your voice. Basically, informing is creating interest in the business. So, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun with my Pampered Chef business. I just made my car payment this month. That's informing someone of what Pampered Chef is doing for you. Inviting them is basically saying, this is so easy and so much fun. You should be doing this with me. Have you thought about doing something like this before? You know, and kind of like that. Okay, so I'm going to give you some notes that I actually wrote down. Okay, so some examples of what to tell. I got to read my own notes, sorry. I went over this, you know, and I came home today and I told Stephen, oh yeah, I wrote this, I'm good. I just kind of went over my slides to see what my order is, because I always get off track. Okay, so some examples that you can give to create interest in the business opportunity when you're at a live cooking show is to say something like, oh my gosh, this this came in my new consultant kit. Or this grill pan is one of my favorites, I use it all the time. This came, you know, you can get this and basically everything else on the back of the catalog for a lower price when you start your own business. Because then you're showing them a little bit of piquing interest by telling them that this is my kit. If you're online and virtual parties, you know, you might post a fun recruiting game, or telling them to ask you questions about what you do for work, you know, what you do for your Pampered Chef job. And then to, you know, private message or answer them in the group about what this business can do for them. Okay, so here's some ways that you can inform during your live cooking shows. And this is if you are following, everyone should have gotten these in their, everyone should have gotten the cards in their books, in their new consultant kits. If you did not, these are under call 2 in your workbook. And this is basically, if you want to take these out and cut them out, you're welcome to it. These are for you. But you should have gotten 5x7 laminated cards in your new consultant kit that follow the same process. But what this does is it gives you key ways to do your cooking show. That has been a proven track record that works with the company. And the first way to inform people is during your group hello, when you tell everyone a little short story about you, and I mean like 45 seconds, maybe a minute, about you, because they don't care about you. They don't know you yet. They're not invested in what you have to say. But I always let them know, hey, throughout this party, you might fall in love with some of our products. And if you start to think, oh my gosh, I could make some money doing this, if that's you tonight, when that happens, let's chat. If you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'd like to make some money, or sometimes if I'm wearing really adorable shoes, which is most of my parties, I'll say, picture yourself in my shoes, unless you don't like heels in class, because my job is super easy. So I invite you all to watch what I do tonight. And if you think, oh my gosh, I could do this way better than Christina, I'd love to have you. So because I want to plant that seed early, so that way I can talk to them about it later. So when you're planting seeds throughout your show, you might do something along the lines of when you're working with the grill pan and someone's grilling up the chicken for your salad, you might say, as you're going around to the stations and you say, oh my gosh, isn't this grill pan amazing? Can you believe it has a lifetime warranty? The thing is probably one of the best things I use in my kitchen. You're striking up a conversation, with them about how it works, and then you just mention to them that, this comes in our ultimate kit. Be a great way to start your business and get this bad boy. You pay for this and one other piece in that kit, and everything else comes to you for free. So that's how you can plant that recruiting seed. Another thing I used to always do, back when I did a demo style show, so those of you who are new, you might not know what that is. It's where I used to do all the work, and I'd have a table set up, and I would demo everything. Nobody jumped in and helped unless they asked to help. You guys around during that time? Anyone remember seeing a show back like that? Okay.
I used to do them.
Okay, so I would always, the very first person who offered to come up and help me cook, that was my next recruit. And I would say, oh my gosh, Susie, look at you coming up here to help us right away. You'd be so great at this. Look at you, you're already willing to help us. And then the entire night, I just keep honor. Susie is just making my job look super easy tonight. Everyone, let's give her a big hand, woo, for whatever she's doing. And then before the end of the night, I would say, all right, Susie, when are you signing up? And Susie's going to go, oh my God, I could never do this. And what are her friends going to say?
Yes, you can.
You just did it all night. And she's going to sign up at the show. And that's honestly how I used to do my demo shows. And I would always sign people at my shows doing it that way, because I would just, not that I would pick on, but I would find the person who's the most fun. I would find the person that's, drawing in all the attention to them instead of to what I'm doing. And that's the person I'm going to sign up, because people are listening to them. So keep thinking about that. And then how to share during your confident close. That's when you want to bring it a little bit more personal and offer, to tell them a little bit more about your story. Tell them, okay, guys, you've been watching me here all night tonight. When I first started Pampered Chef, I just wanted all the products in the catalog. Now I'm able to make our mortgage payment. I'm able to pay for our passes for the theme park we want to go to. We go to dinner whenever we want to. I don't feel like cooking. My kids are playing sports because I'm paying for that with my Pampered Chef income. What could you do with the extra money? I always say I don't ever prejudge. I don't know who in this room could use an extra $300 or $400 a month, but my very part-time consultants will make that in a month. So if that's you tonight, let's chat. I'd love to be able to answer some of your questions and just see if Pampered Chef could be a good fit for you. Because then it's more like an interview. You're not saying, hey, everyone, join in. All right, Susie probably knows these guys by heart. But we also want to listen out for red flags. And red flags are good things, because these are people who are asking probing questions without full-on asking you questions about your business. These are people who might be interested in joining, but they want answers first. So some questions you might hear is, well, how many shows a week do you do? Susie, do you know my answer for that?
It's you turn it around on them. You say, well, whatever works for your schedule or my schedule or something like that.
So when someone asks me how many shows a week do, I say, I typically do about 2 per week, but what I find is that most of my consultants do about 1 to 2 a week, but really it's up to whatever your schedule allows. Because I want to tell them, I want to set the expectation right then that I want them doing 1 show a week at least, but letting them know I do 2. I'm not going to ask them to do 1 show a week if I'm not doing that, right? Are there many consultants in this area? Why do you think that's a red flag?
Because they want to know what the competition is, like how many.
Yeah, they want to know if there's competition. My answer to that is always, I still find people all the time that haven't seen us in a lot of years. We still need more people in this area. If you're doing this online and someone says, oh my gosh, I haven't seen Pampered Chef in forever. Where are you at? Are you local? And if they're like, no, I'm in Missouri. Well, we're expanding in your area in Missouri. Have you ever thought about doing something like this? Your team can be expanding wherever you want your team to expand.
We're in Hawaii.
I'm coming to Hawaii next year. We can do an in-person training then. Absolutely.
Yeah.
My goal is, when I first started, I was like, I want a consultant in every state. Right now we cover about 10 states, so that's kind of exciting. But I'll take more. I'll take more states. Do you do all of your shows at night? This one's a red flag because maybe they don't want to leave their house at night. Maybe they're a stay-at-home mom, or maybe they work nights and they want to know if there's an opportunity to do shows during the day. So you want to keep listening out for these. Do you have to keep all of those products? Do you have to buy a lot of things? Does your husband mind if you're doing this? To which I say, my husband loves when I take him on our free trips that I've worked hard for with Pampered Chef, so he does not mind at all when I come and do a show. Are those bags heavy? They're wanting to know if they can see themselves doing this. This is the reason why 3.5 or 4 years ago, I stopped taking all of my products to my show, because people would say, oh my gosh, I would carry in like 4 or 5 bags, and they would go, you have to bring all this with you? Well, no, you don't have to. Now I bring in 1 bag of products, 1 bag of business tools, and that's it. And usually food. If I'm bringing the food, I'll bring in like a bag of food and prizes, and that's it. So 2 arms, 1 trip, I'm in the door, and then they're like, that's it? Yeah, I'm only bringing what we need for the recipes. Because then they can go, when you have someone who goes, oh, did you bring the spiralizer? I'll say, you know what, Susie, I didn't need the spiralizer for this recipe, but when we come to your show, I'll bring it. Yeah? We're going to stay with free. Okay, so listen for those red flags, because those are key to helping you doing your business there. Okay, other red flag behaviors. Follow up with the hecklers in your crowd, the people who are giving you a hard time. They're really wanting to know more. Tell your story, interact with people. And when you're building that relationship, you're going to be able to answer and kind of field those questions and start hearing more when people are saying, oh my gosh, I had a crazy long day at work today. What do you do for work? Get to know them a little bit. Oh, I've missed my kids all day. I'm kind of missing them right now. Then they must work and they want to be home with their kids. And can you help them? Find need, fill a need. Okay, start with when you're telling your story, and remember it's super short, 45 seconds, why you started Pampered Chef, why you're staying with Pampered Chef, and what you're excited about now. Hey guys, my name's Christina. I'm with the Pampered Chef. I'm going to be helping you with our cooking stuff tonight. I started my business 6.5 years ago because I wanted a new consultant kit, and no, I did not plan to sell anything. But Pampered Chef keeps giving me free stuff, so I keep staying. And I'm super excited because this year we're earning a trip to Hawaii. So feel free to book all of your parties and join my team. I won't mind at all when you do. That's my intro. Done. Keep it short. Keep it relatable. Have fun. There are a ton of recruiting activities that you can do during your show, whether it's live or whether it is online. If you want to take a picture of this or have me post it later, you can Google or YouTube any of these. Pampered Chef ticket game, Pampered Chef Y-bag, Pampered Chef recruiting slide. Someone has done a video on pretty much everything on here that you can watch and learn more about how they do that. One is a Stealing Hearts game that is super fun, and basically you have 3 prizes. They're asking questions and stealing the bag until the questions are all asked, and then whoever gets the bag left gets the prize. That one's a fun one, but it's about how to engage them without word vomiting on them. A lot of times as consultants, we speak too much and we just need to shut up. They'll ask the questions, they'll join. And sometimes they only need, we think they need to know everything right now. And a lot of times they just need to know what they need to do to get started. They might not have all the questions you think they might have right now. They might just want to know, okay, so how do I start? How do I sign up? And that's what you got to ask. Do you have questions I can answer, or do you just need to know how to get started? Go from there. Okay, I do want to do a virtual opportunity event. So I wanted to, pose this to you guys. Basically, this is where we would set up an online Facebook event. I could make it public. You can invite anyone who's interested in hearing about Pampered Chef. It takes about 45 minutes on a weeknight. Usually I do it from like 8:30 to 9:15. I'll post different things. You guys can comment, tag your friends. They can see what Pampered Chef could be like, and then see if it's something that they would like more information about, so you can follow up with them. So it's kind of one of those quick things, like a quick virtual party, but it's a great way for them to hear about Pampered Chef without someone word vomiting on them. So it covers several different things, like, how much money you can make, what your titles can be, what extra perks we get as far as trips and incentives and products and all that stuff. So if that's something that you guys want to do, I want to schedule one this week. So be thinking of a date or a night this week that you might have open, where we can sit down and chime in on Facebook and just invite everyone in to just hear about it, and just post it like, hey, we're doing a quick little team opportunity night. If you want to check out Pampered Chef and what we're up to, we'd love to have you check us out. No pressure, just gives them information. Okay, so then this is where you would be able to follow up with them after that, once we've done the virtual opportunity. These are some great posts that you can steal from Pampered Chef and post them onto your pages to kind of get those images going and get people talking. These are found under social media and then under booking and recruiting when you're looking for some slides. Earn the money you need. You don't know how much they need. Let them decide how much they want to make. Dig into all the perks. We got some good perks. This is going to be revamped, so the Life Tastes Great has actually been coined by another company, so we're not technically allowed to use it anymore. It's trademarked. They're revamping this. This one's a good one. A year from now, you'll wish you'd started today. How many of you have seen that going around? I love the cold brew also. We make our own cold brew, Julia. Pampered Chef style. Ask me anything. I'd love to answer any questions you have about Pampered Chef. This seems scary for a newbie. If you don't know the answers to the questions, email, text, Facebook message me. I can help you answer it. Susie's good about screenshotting her text messages, and she'll text me and go, how do I answer this? And I just type it back, and she copies and pastes. Do it. If you want something in your life you've never had, you'll have to do something you've never done. Maybe that's picking up the phone.
All of us turn away.
This was because this brings us back around to our mission of bringing people back around the table for a shared mealtime. Letting people know there's room for you at our table. We'd love to have you be a part of our family. And then just, this is one that floats around a lot, the different aprons that people can wear, whether it's catalog, virtual, short-term, hobby, part-time, or career. And career consultant sounds scary until you realize I only have to work 8 times a month times 12 months. That's not so bad. I'll take that full-time career. And then this one's a really cool one. It kind of breaks it down a little bit more. And I'll post all these graphics on our team page. That way you guys can have access to them later if you don't want to go hunting for them. But it just breaks down a little bit, which apron fits you. You can do this in your virtual parties. Hey, taking a poll, which apron fits you? And just how we do that. All right, when to invite. We got 3 minutes left. At your full service checkout, if you're doing a cooking show, that you want FaceTime with them when they place their orders. If you do a 24-hour follow-up call, this is with your host if you're confirming her date for your party. With your guest, you want to say thank you for their order. Thank you so much for coming out tonight to Susie's party. I just wanted to circle back around with you. I didn't get a chance to talk to you too much about what I do. I had so much fun with you, blah, blah, blah. Melanie had lunch with me last week, and she said, I told her, you start with a compliment. when you're talking to someone and when you're meeting them for the first time, you start with a compliment. They're going to be so much more receptive to whatever else you have to say when you compliment them. Start there. I had so much fun with you because blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, you had on the cutest dress. I absolutely love your style. Whatever you want to say. Chris, don't get in trouble with your wife for flirting. This might be a way you can do that. Hi, Julie. It's Christina with the Pampered Chef. I wanted to give you a quick call just to say thank you so much for booking a party with me. I know we're going to have so much fun. I just want to confirm we're still good for February 17th at 6:30 p.m. Perfect. Well, I know I mentioned this to you yesterday, but I wanted to just tell you that you've been on my mind, and I think you would make a great consultant with the Pampered Chef, and I think you'd be such a good fit for this team. I'd love to get together with you for a cup of coffee at your amazing Starbucks because I love it, and tell you a little bit more about Pampered Chef. What do you think? Leave it open-ended. Don't say, how does that sound? That's another way to do that. Because then you can just tell them, and if they say, oh my gosh, no, I could never do this, that's fine. You know what? We're still going to do your show. I'm so excited. If that changes between now and when I come to your party, let's chat. And then go from there. This is called Big Mac calls. They're morning after calls. This is a script you could use for that. Hi, Sally. It's April with the Pampered Chef, or Christina with the Pampered Chef. I wanted to give you a quick call and just say thank you so much for attending Julie's party last night. Did you have fun? Talk to them. Well, I know I mentioned yesterday, but you've been on my mind, blah, blah, blah. Tell them a specific reason why. Because you were so much fun. Oh my gosh, you were the life of the party. Every single person gravitated towards you. Now, I will tell you this. I do not do a morning after call to every single guest. I pick one or two that I think would be a great fit based on their personality, and those are the ones I reach out to. I don't have time to call everybody. Okay, let me see what else I got because I got a minute left. All right. If they say yes, set up a time to meet. If they say no, offer a show. Remember, they want something to say. They say yes to something to say no to something else, or say no to something to say yes to something else. Okay. Do you know at your show someone who laid awake last night worrying about bills? Someone who cried because they had to leave their baby at daycare? You never know who could use the kind of money that we have available to them. So ask everyone. I'm going to pause here in case it cuts us off. We have less than a minute, and our recording kind of finishes on a note, and then I'll go over homework because that's all that's left. Good information so far?
Yes.
Do I talk too fast?
No.
Me?